Important match in London's history, and the Guard of Honour provided by the 1st Battalion of the Queen's Lancashire Regiment, Corporals Paul Urey and Steve Aspinall. They both play rugby league for the Army. Here are the sides. London have Julian O'Neill at fullback, Ikram Butt, Evan Cochrane, Chris McKenna and Shane Vincent. It's Ben Walker and Leo Deneva. And the forwards, Tony Mestrov, David O'Donnell, their skipper, Darren Shaw, Steve Roslin, Justin Bryant and Peter Gill. On the bench for the Broncos, it's Kevin Langer, Russell Borden, Craig Green, Darryl Pitt, and the coach is Gary Grenke. The Broncos emerge to a terrific welcome for their first appearance at Brentford. It's a big night for them, it's a big night for Leeds also. Paul Cook is the fullback in place of the injured Alan Tate. It's Fallon, Hassan, Innes and Cummins. Kemp is the captain. There's no Schofield. Gibbons fills in at scrum half. Schofield is ill. Harmon, Lowes and Faimilo the front row. Second rows, Morley and Mann, and Forshaw at the back of the scrum. And on the bench, all these lads are 20 or under. Mick Shaw, Marvin Golden, Jamie Field and Nick Fossard. And of course the coach is Dean Bell. Julian O'Neill, he arrived only on Friday after sterling work for the Brisbane Broncos in 1995. Formerly, of course, with Widnes, 12 appearances for them in 92-93. And Ben Walker, the former Australian schools captain, he appeared for the against the Great Britain Academy on the 1994 tour. This is his debut for the Broncos here tonight. Looks a confident young man. He's only 18. He arrived on Thursday. Well, they're making this quite an occasion, and we're now listening to Michelle Connolly, who is studying for A-levels at the Cardinal Wiseman School in Greenford in London. And it's Land of Hope and Glory singing to the crowd here at Brentford. The mightier yet, Russell Smith, who is tonight's referee, the referee of the year. And as you could see from the crowd here at Brentford, plenty of supporters from Leeds have journeyed down to swell the homesters here, who of course are supporting the Broncos. So here we are, live and exclusive from Griffin Park, the home of Brentford Football Club here in London. It's the Broncos against Leeds, and London making their first home appearance of the season. 4 straight defeats. But my word, they are confident that they can arrest that particular run right here at Brentford. First tackle on Darren Shaw, their prop forward. Leeds, of course, Steve-O. We saw one shock on Sky on Friday, Workington turning over Warrington, and Leeds will not want to be the second shock of this championship weekend.
I'm sure that their coach, Dean Bell, would have made sure it went right through to them. That forget about the first half against Halifax last week. That really was a bad first 40 minutes, but they showed their skill and their class in the second half.
Leeds came down here last night, spent the evening in a hotel, and came to Brentford this afternoon. This is Paul Cook. It's a great chase by the Broncos. McKenna is there, so too Peter Gill, and second rower Justin Bryant. Jim Fallon sets off on a run. Well, last weekend against Wigan at Central Park, the Broncos acquitted themselves very well early on. They led by 6 points to 0, and it was only 18-6 at half-time. They are getting better as this centenary championship season goes on, but this is another huge test for them here tonight. London against Leeds. Leeds, one of the glamour clubs in the game. This now is Tony Kemp, the Leeds captain for the night. High kick, that hangs. O'Neill doesn't fancy see it? Innes does, and Innes got a hand to it and knocked it forward. There was some discrepancy there between Butt and O'Neill who would take it.
Well, they both left it to each other and nearly paid the price, and it was a hand of Ikram Butt. You could see that Julian O'Neill anticipated that the winger Butt was going to go and take the ball. In the meantime, the New Zealander Innes nearly took that.
It was a knock-on the last tackle by Craig Innes. It's the turnover. London in possession, 10 metres short of their own line.
Shaky start from the Australian Julian O'Neill at the fullback. He only arrived on Friday.
Here he is in possession again now. Must be suffering with jet lag. And of course has only had minimal time on the training pitch with his new teammates.
He is a classy player though, but it will take him a few moments to get into the swing of things.
This is Evan Cochrane. Blonde-haired centre. Now David O'Donnell, the dummy half. He finds Donovan, and Donovan will dab it downfield, but it's a naive kick straight into the arms of Cummins. Good chase though nonetheless. McKenna leading the way there.
Not the best kick though from Donovan. Straight into the hands of Cummins, and really they'll have to sort that out. They've got to try to keep turning Leeds back. They can't do it with kicks like that.
Good tackle by Justin Bryant on Phil Hassan. James Lowes, the dummy half, to Assini Faimilo. Faimilo is held down. This is Lowes to Kemp, and now Mick Forshaw stands in the tackle with O'Donnell all round him, and Roslin downstairs. Kemp again drifts that ball over the top. This time O'Neill comes across more confidently to deal with it. Good chase now from Leeds. He's a classy fullback, is Julian O'Neill. Played in the Winfield Cup, of course, for the parent club, the Brisbane Broncos, and he gets the penalty. George Mann interfering as he got to his feet.
Well, it took an age to get away from it. David Gibbons helping in the conquest of holding the man down. Nervous start. Leeds expecting a pretty tough encounter. We said before the game, and there's a early little piece of claret. The second rower, Justin Bryant. He's been in the wars early.
He will leave the field and go to the blood bin. Blood streaming down from a cut just underneath the hairline there. And it's Russell Borden who comes on to replace him. Russell Borden played first grade for Brisbane. He's a proper second row. He will have to play in the second row. As Ben Walker finds touch with the penalty. Ben Walker, another of the newcomers. Mestrov with the drive upfield, halted by Innes. O'Donnell's the dummy half, and this now is Darren Shaw. And the referee has caught Leeds all offside, moving up too quickly.
You could see that none of them went back the full 10. Russell Smith, the only person to do that. Well, nerves really are showing on this Leeds outfit. Perhaps they're thinking about that woeful 40 minutes last week against Halifax, where their defence was very poor indeed. And this is where London have to try to take advantage, try to get a try, score very early in the piece.
Well, Mestrov will have a good run. He'll take them on. He's a big raw bone forward. Confirmation that Russell Borden is on. That's Donovan. He gives it to Walker. Lovely change of pace. Oh, and the ball inside to Borden, and Borden just couldn't keep hold of it.
Oh, good play, but the substitute just couldn't get it. It wasn't the best pass. It was riding up towards his head. But that was a chance gone begging.
Ben Walker, former Aussie schoolboys captain. One of the youngest ever to have that honour in the Australian game. And they have high hopes of him here in London to really make an impact in the big league.
He certainly is a talent for the future, and he showed there that he's got plenty of skill. But it was good hard work by the London forwards that got them in that position.
The run was from Adrian Morley in the side because Gary Mercer went injured last night. And Dave Gibbons drops it under pressure. Just had a look out the corner of his eye and saw Borden coming in at him.
Well, Borden made amends there. Didn't take the pass, but he certainly put pressure on David Gibbons.
Now Cochrane. The turnover there because, of course, that was on the last tackle, that mistake from Gibbons.
What a tackle there from Neil Harmon. Oh, that was crunch time.
Peter Gill with the football for the Broncos. Picks himself up. O'Donnell's the dummy half. This now is Mestrov. Tony Mestrov, debut at Wigan, former Souths player in the Winfield Cup. Here's Walker. Borden. Now there's been some quite heavy rain in the London area throughout this day, and the pitch is bound to be slippy for both sides. But the Broncos, they're acquitting themselves well early on here. Here's Walker. High kick. It will hang. A tester here for Cook. Who fancies it? Everyone's offside. The referee blew the whistle. Penalty to Leeds.
You could see that Russell Smith was telling the Broncos to get back, not encroach within the 10 metres. Once you're in front of the kicker, you must allow 10 metres in front of the man attempting to take the football.
Well, it's a very healthy and encouraging crowd here for the Broncos at Brentford this evening. The penalties, 2-1 in London's favour in the opening 7.5 minutes. But it's a smashing little crowd, and a ground, this Griffin Park at Brentford, that really does lend itself to the atmosphere of the big league.
Spectators very close to the ground. That adds to it.
One or two newcomers to the game, no doubt, just as there were on Friday night at Warrington. No doubt enjoying what they're seeing, because the Broncos really are competing with Leeds at the moment. Here's a mistake from Innes and Forshaw.
Well, it was never on. Craig Innes was going to ground there. Forshaw in the inside. But you don't get the ball away in heavy traffic like that. It's not a time to be forcing the pass early in the game. You've got to set yourself down, settle into a pattern.
And another blood bin here for the London Broncos. Darren Shaw goes off, and the man to replace him is Darryl Pitt. So they are in the wars here early on, London Broncos. This now is Chris McKenna. Crowd starting to get behind this London Broncos team. There's a good little run too from Shane Vincent, the winger. Now loose forward is Peter Gill. Played standoff last week against Wigan.
Good play by London there. Julian O'Neill running on the angle and bringing back men on the inside. Enterprising stuff from the Broncos.
And the crowd, Steve-O, starting to get behind them. Here's a penalty, because Leeds would not let Peter Gill get back to his feet.
Well, you can see Mike Forshaw still wrestling with him. The referee, Russell Smith, had already blown that the momentum had stopped. Get on with it. Finished off there by Forshaw. That's a silly penalty.
And so it offers London the opportunity of taking a lead here against Leeds. It's going to be the boot of Julian O'Neill, who will do the kicking. State of origin representative for Queensland right the way throughout 1994. 187 points for the Broncos this summer. It's a new club record that he's established in Brisbane. A big star, just what they want in London to really allow the game to take off down here. And that's the angle that he has. 20 metres from the post and almost bang in front. Julian O'Neill, 12 appearances for Widnes. In 1992-93, he scored 4 tries for them, but he has suddenly started to find his feet as a goal kicker back home in Brisbane. Taking his time, no panic from Julian O'Neill. Knows how important these 2 points might be. Referee calls time back on at last. And O'Neill gets his English career mark 2 off to a point-scoring start. London 2, Leeds 0.
That will help lift their spirits. It's been a bright opening from the London Broncos.
Well, at Bradford, they led 10-6 at half-time. Against Wigan, as I say, they led early 6-0. And then they just trailed at the interval by 16 points to 6. So there are signs of what might be on the way here. Cook restarts for Leeds once more. Darryl Pitt, his first touch of the football. He's on as a blood bin substitution. And Ikram Butt plays the ball to David O'Donnell. Here's Daryl Pitt once again. Assini for Milo won't let go of the shirt tails. James Lowes finishes him off. Now Mestrov, he's seen plenty of it early on. The big prop forward.
Strong player, Mestrov. Tough as they come. Certainly made an impact with South Sydney in the Winfield Cup down under.
London enjoying the better of things, possession-wise, in this first half so far. Last tackle it is, and they're running it with McKenna. Now he'll dab it in field. Donova's after it. It's a very narrow in-goal area, though, at Griffin Park. Paul Cook takes the gamble, though, and he's collared in the field of play, and he's caught by them.
He had to take it. The ball was not going to go over.
His foot touched the line anyway.
Well, under a lot of pressure, but that was superb play by the Broncos. The long ball out wide.
And Chris McKenna, in his second spell here in the UK, putting the crossfield kick in. He took the gamble and it's paid off. The drop out underneath the Leeds posts reaches over halfway, but back come the Broncos. And this now is Peter Gill. Peter Gill escapes the clutches of two. Scrambling defence here from Leeds to keep them out. O'Donnell to Mestrov again. Looked over the shoulder, heard the call from Julian O'Neill. Hung on to the ball. Now then, Walker.
He was trying to get the ball back on the inside. The option was there. Just couldn't get his arms free.
Daryl Pitt again. Takes the tackle 2 metres from the line. O'Donnell plotting a dummy half. He finds Gill. And Gill was looking to skip the ball out wide. He only managed to find the turf, and Fallon swooped.
It was a great tackle for Milo, I think it was, that came across and really give him a heavy one onto the arms. Lost control of it.
Leeds tonight, Steve, really are in a no-win situation, aren't they? They have come down here to London and they're putting their reputations on the line against a side that has not yet won in the big league.
Yep, that was a bad mistake by Peter Gill there, the flop that allowed the pressure to be released on Leeds. But to have lost also Schofield, he went down with an illness yesterday. He's the architect of this Leeds outfit. He would have had to reshuffle a little bit, so things not so bright for Leeds.
Here's Gibbons filling in for Schofield, and he gives it to Morley, who's filling in for Mercer. And that's great tackling. Terrific tackling by the Brisbane Broncos, by the London Broncos. Freudian slip. This now is by Milo.
Most of them played for them anyway.
Well, they did. Here's Forshaw. Runs over the top of Donovan. Last tackle here for Leeds. Lowes gives it to Tony Kemp. Tony Kemp out wide to Innes. Oh, it's a great try. Craig Innes hit the ball at pace, took the pass and swept in. His 4th try of the season.
Beautiful pass from Tony Kemp. He delays it. You'll see the man run out of it. There's the centre, Cochrane, and he just couldn't complete the tackle on the Kiwi Craig Innes. The beautiful pass. There you see the centre, Cochrane, come through, but he didn't have enough power to bring him down. Nice play. See how he delays it, runs at the angle. There's the centre, he's committed himself. You've got to make sure of the tackle. He didn't. Leads in for the 4th.
Craig Innes following on from the hat-trick that he scored against Halifax last weekend. And Leeds in their first attack of real venom, prompted forward by Tony Kemp, and they're over for the opening try. Craig Innes, former All Black. Omitted from the New Zealand World Cup squad. How on earth have New Zealand overlooked a talent like Craig Innes? Paul Cook then, 11 goals from 11 shots against Halifax, just 2 short of Lewis Jones's club record for Leeds. 58 points in his last 3 games. Hits the post this time. London 2, Leeds 4.
There's Cochrane, he's just come out of the line. That split second was enough. Beautiful delayed pass from Kemp. And then it's in for the first Leeds try. Well, a shaky start from Leeds to begin with. A few unforced errors.
But Steve-O, how can New Zealand leave that fellow out of their World Cup squad? It's amazing.
They always amaze me, the New Zealanders. They even leave Henry Paul on the bench.
That was almost a dangerous tackle by Chris McKenna and Peter Gill. The referee gives them the benefit of the doubt. Borden and Pitt have gone off to be replaced again by Bryant and Shaw out of the blood bin. And Bryant, we are told, has 3 stitches in his head wound. A knock on at the play the ball. It's George Mann.
Not the best attempt by the second rower. I think he may have been helped along a bit by Darren Shaw. Either way, they've got away with it.
The Broncos in possession. This is Walker, and Tony Kemp is watching Walker like a hawk. O'Neill, he comes down this side with Darren Shaw.
Underway, come on!
Another man with head bandaged. Now McKenna. Good tackling. Morley and Lowe's. David O'Donnell is the dummy half. That's Denver. He sweeps it further wide, and this now is Cochrane. Cochrane trying to elude the tacklers, but Leeds swarming round him.
Good sliding defence there from Leeds. You could see they were forcing a man outside, and that meant that the centre had only one way, that was inside, to come back.
Mestrov now attracting 3 Leeds defenders. Last tackle here for the Broncos. In possession with Walker. Little dab over the top by Walker. It nearly came off for him once, and it nearly came off again. Jim Fallon was in 2 minds.
Nice little kick though. And with it being a very short in-goal area, it's a good option is to put that kick through, because you can see the concrete that surrounds it there. Fallon thought twice about actually throwing his body on the football.
So coming up to 18.5 minutes gone of this, the biggest occasion in London for Club Rugby League since the debut season by Fulham in 1980-81. A season when Leeds were beaten in London in the old John Player Trophy. So they're not unknown to come unstuck in the capital. And remarkably, the London last game in Division 1 was a 23-13 win over Widnes in 1983-84 season. They won down here. They also beat Wigan that season.
A little bit too long there from David Gibbons, but the option was there. Realising, of course, that Julian O'Neill only arrived from Australia on Friday, still trying to get his land legs.
Strong run from Ikram Butt, playing against his former club, of course. He began at Leeds, just 1 first-team appearance, despite becoming a Great Britain Colt international. Broncos in possession again. On the halfway line they go with Darren Shaw. Here now is Peter Gill. Big tall lad looked to offload in the tackle, couldn't do so. There's Denver. Now Walker. Again he tries the kick. That's an invitation for Ikram Butt and Cochrane. Cummins is there and he loses it. But I think the penalty will go Leeds' way for the push on Cummins before he reached that ball. Good decision, Russell Smith. There it is.
Yep.
Cochrane.
Cochrane definitely got the push to him. And that made it virtually impossible for the youngster Cummins to take that ball in. But it was a nice little kick over the top. Ben Walker has shown some nice touches so far. He's not frightened to take on the defence. I'd like to see a little bit more running from David O'Donnell. I've seen him play in Australia many times. Very quick from the dummy half position, but as yet he is yet to run away.
O'Donnell was the second marker there at that play the ball for the Broncos, and he comes here with big raps from Australia, having played for Manly and the Roosters down under. Leeds in possession with Hassan. And it's 6 to go here. The referee wiped the tackle count clear, so Leeds can build something from this. Morley picks himself up, plays it to James Lowe's. He finds David Gibbons, who in turn sweeps it wide to Kemp. Good ball from Kemp to Mann. Forshaw in at dummy half. Now Kemp again. He really is the fulcrum around which Leeds work, particularly when Schofield is not in the side. Here's Kemp again. Now Gibbons. Gibbons, he misses out Harmon, he finds Morley. Morley striding towards the line, gets the pass away, and Fallon will score here. Jim Fallon with the try for Leeds. 4 tries now in his last 3 matches for the Leeds winger. a kick-start to his season.
Good play by David Gibbons. You'll see him use the run and Neil Harmon. Neil Harmon will go through, and there you see how the hesitation steps back on the inside. Rosalind couldn't do anything about it, but that's good, keeping the ball alive. Hassan feeds the winger, and that's well taken. You see how Fallon went low, but you'll see the dummy runner now. This is clever play from the little halfback. Dummy runner straight through, gets the ball through away, and that is a beautiful pass now from Hassan. See how he goes low, knows the cover defence is coming for him. Excellent play.
Jim Fallon, 24 tries in 39 appearances last season, his best in the paid ranks. Paul Cook hit the post with his earlier conversion. This is a far more difficult angle. He's striking the ball so nicely, though, this season, Cook. Oh, and it just creeps in on the inside of the post. That's a terrific kick from 19-year-old Paul Cook, grabbing his chance with both hands.
Well, you see the two players, they're going for the dummy runner, which is Harmon. Oh, super play. Well worked by David Gibbons. And keeping the ball alive. That is a well-taken try.
Well, Russell Borden returns to the field, and let's have a word from Bill Arthur on the touchline.
Well, it was a brief return for Justin Bryant. In fact, he went off earlier on having had a nasty gash on the top of his head, which needed 3 stitches. Having come back on, it looks as though that head wound has reopened. He's gone back off again. He's going to need more treatment from the Broncos doctor. So on in his place once again has come Russell Borden.
Yes, Russell Borden, another man who played first grade for the Brisbane Broncos. O'Donnell makes sure that Mike Forshaw is going nowhere on the skiddy surface here at Brentford. It is a soccer field, of course, normally, and the grass, Steve-O, is a lot shorter than you find on rugby league grounds.
Yeah, the lads will find it a little bit slippier. There's been a lot of rain over the last 24 hours.
Well, there's a heck of a thunderstorm when I arrived here this afternoon. It was really coming down, the rain.
Any significance about that?
I'll just sort of give you a weather report on the capital. Referee has got Leeds offside.
Well, I think you'll find that well, the forward pass is given. Pretty good eyes there. There was a delayed pass from the hooker, David O'Donnell. Just overrun it.
Nothing much in that. As it is, Leeds are in possession. This is Innes. Hassan, the dummy half. And this is Forshaw. Good strong run from him. The tacklers in, and they're trying to marshal the defences, the Broncos, to defend this raid, led by Kemp and now by Milo. The referee has seen a swinging arm. It's a penalty to Leeds. I don't know whether he's missed. The Leeds man's flat out.
Cochrane it was that came swinging over. You'll see him just appear there, and I think he missed. But I think his hip bounced down for Milo. Well, it's no good shaking your head. He may be shaking his head because he didn't make contact. But that really was a malicious swing. Frustration creeping into the Broncos game.
They simply can't afford to give Leeds penalty attempts like this, not with Cook in such fine form with the boot.
The Broncos finding it quite difficult now, the way that Leeds are switching the play. Kemp is the man that's mesmerising them at the moment. He's running on the angles and bringing not just one, but sometimes 3 on occasion to use as dummy runners. It's confusing for a defence.
Cook with the penalty. That's 2 more points to Leeds. They lead now by 12 points to 2, and after 3 great home wins against Warrington, St Helens and Halifax, but after their only defeat of the season at Castleford, Leeds know they must remain unbeaten at least until November the 3rd, when they face Wigan on Sky Sports. That's a very important night for Leeds at Headingley, and at the moment They lead by 10 points, but it's been a spirited opening to this match from the Broncos. They have built their way to this first home game of the season since day one. It was a night they really were looking forward to, and they are sharing the possession with Leeds. They just at the moment don't have the penetration. Good run from Lowe's from dummy half, made good yards there, 20 metres.
Tremendous thinking there from the hooker. That's the sort of thing that we should expect from David O'Donnell, the hooker from the Broncos, but as yet he hasn't moved.
Here's Kemp. Kemp hoists another high kick. The referee has pointed to a couple of the Broncos players. O'Neill spills it. But Leeds were caught offside. He pointed to one or two of the Leeds players, did Russell Smith.
Same again, the earlier penalty, this time going the Broncos' way.
A little push as well from, was it George Mann?
Well, they encroached the the 10 metres, should I say. That there was little doubt. Good refereeing by Russell Smith. Even though he was shouting at the players, the Leeds players just totally ignored him. It's vital now that the Broncos get into the swing of things and get a try at least.
Yes, they need to post a try here in this first half. Having almost levelled it out in terms of possession, they need some reward. And Denver here finds Walker, who finds McKenna, who is a tall, long-striding centre, Chris McKenna.
Good
now
defense.
Vincent.
It was good defence from Phil Hassan. He wasn't going to be kidded by that dummy run.
Denver to O'Neill. Julian O'Neill taking them on. Had a long season with the Brisbane Broncos, and he's unhappy with the challenge that Leeds put in on him then. Denver with the crossfield kick, but straight into the arms of Fallon. This is an area, I think, Steve-O, where they will have to become a little bit smarter, the Broncos. That's two kicks downfield that I've seen have gone straight down the throat of Leeds players.
Swinging arm as well, Fallon caught one. Ben Walker looks at the referee and said, "Me, sir." There you see it. Fallon was trying to get up and play the football. That really was a helicopter job, but that was a chopper.
29 minutes gone, Leeds ahead 12 points to 2. George Mann puts Mestrov on his backside, but that's not the best pass. But that wasn't bad, and this is Innes. Oh, this fella's oozing class at the moment. The spell down under with the Perth Western Reds has done him no harm at all. And two Broncos players coming in there, and they should be penalised. The referee had the whistle to his mouth.
He's allowed advantage.
He had the whistle to his mouth, and his hand went to the pocket as well to put someone in the sin bin. Oh, Hassan drops it. Well, the Broncos are lucky there.
Come on! Come on!
Well, it's slippery conditions there, and getting back to that kicking game from the Broncos, you say they're kicking it directly into the player's path, but on slippery ground like this, you've got to keep it low. It can skid all over the place. Very difficult.
Mestrov again, making some more hard yards for his team. They are finding tries hard to come by this season, averaging just 2 per game. The Broncos, how they would love to score a couple here on their first home appearance of the season. Here's Cochran on the halfway line, and Innes wrestles him to the floor, but he gets the ball away, and they keep it alive. That's a lovely ball from Walker. This is McKenna. He's faced by Hassan and Fallon, and Hassan does well again in defence.
It's a real battle between Hassan and McKenna. They really are shadowing each other tightly.
Now Ikram Butt, who's come in off the wing a few times tonight looking for work, gets the pass away. Well done, he keeps it going. Walker, lovely kick through, then he hammers it forward. Here's a big chase. Fallon knows it, and Fallon gets there first. Did he ground the ball behind his own line before the tackler arrived? No, he didn't. It's a drop out underneath the sticks.
Neat little kick over the top. He's a classy player, this Walker. Silly that he threw that short punch just a few minutes earlier, but it's a good kick and chase. That's what they need.
Great length again on the drop out from underneath their posts. And there's Darren Shaw driving it in. They miss out Mestrov. And they find Justin Bryant, who has again returned to the fray.
It's got to be a flop there from Milo. The tackle was completed, and the prop forward came in far too late. There you see him. Well, you said earlier, Eddie, that Russell Smith was looking into the back pocket. I'm not going to be happy about it. Silly penalty to give away, but more of a professional foul. Maybe to give away 2 points rather than a possible 6.
Brave from Justin Bryant, who has returned to the fray after yet more stitches in that head wound. He gets the penalty anyway. A chance here for Julian O'Neill to close the gap to 8 points. Julian O'Neill then 1 from 1. It was from almost exactly the same position, the early kick that gave London the lead, and he is in no hurry whatsoever. Good kick from O'Neill. He will be an asset to the Broncos with kicking like that. 4-12.
He's in fine form. He certainly did his best last weekend when the Brisbane Broncos were knocked out of the Winfield Cup playoffs by the Sydney Bulldogs. He had a fine game on that day. He certainly wasn't the reason why the Broncos went down.
Denevers underneath it. And back comes Darren Shaw once again. Now then, here's Ikram Butt once more. Steve-O talking about the Winfield Cup, the grand final. You can see it next Sunday morning with us, 5:30 a.m. And note the kickoff time, 5:40 a.m. So join us from 5:30. Brian Smith of the Bradford Bulls, former grand finalist coach, of course, is our guest. Meanwhile, that was a good run from Cochrane. O'Donnell plays the ball quickly. This now is Bryant.
Playing well as a second row, Justin Bryant. There was a good run previous. Eager to get involved in for more work.
Oh, Cochrane tried the chip over the top, and he really did read that, did Mike Forshaw.
He's lost it.
But he loses the ball, and now the Broncos have lost the ball. The referee will take the first knock on. Well, he read the script perfectly here, Forshaw, but then he goes and drops it. Another naive kick, though, Stephen.
Yeah, it really didn't have the height. You see how slippy it is, and it's far more advantageous to a side to put it to the ground. I'm sure that the coach, Gary Grinke, will have plenty to say about that. They've got to change their tactics. But let's not take anything away from the Leeds defence. They've done very well. Their sliding defence is working effectively.
And Walker didn't like that particular challenge. Now here's Ikram Butt, the lone Englishman in this London Broncos side. Ikram Butt.
Yep, 12 Australians out there alongside him. Won't be long before he says good day, mate.
McKenna, good run. He's got support from Vincent. The pass should have gone. It goes now to O'Donnell. And scrambling defence again from Hassan, who's looked impressive in defence. O'Neill got a clout on the top of the head then. Last tackle here for the Broncos. Can they make this pressure tell? Donovan, Mestrov gets the ball away to Cochrane. Cochrane over the top. They are all delaying. Surely they should go for the line. O'Donnell. Well, there were chances there for the Broncos. They'd opened up the Leeds defence about 4 or 5 times, but no one had the conviction to go for the line.
Good build-up, kept the ball alive, but as you say, there was no one penetrating over that whitewash. But really, the centre, McKenna, when he'd made the break, Shane Vincent was screaming for it out wide. He threw the dummy, did McKenna, and wasted the chance. Leeds fortunate there.
Good tackle. Brave tackle too from Bryant, considering he's got so many stitches in the head. He's after Fallon, and he gets him. They lack nothing in enthusiasm, the Broncos. Approaching half-time. Kemp finds touch.
Let's get out of here. Experience of Tony Kemp. He's been blotted out of the game. Fine competition between Tony Kemp and young Ben Walker. Both are the architects for either side. But he knew that the experience to slow things down. They were on the back pedal there, Leeds. That was a good passage of play by the Broncos.
Now O'Neill once more. Good run though by Innes to get to the Broncos fullback and bring him down. There's Darren Shaw again. He gets the pass out wide. Vincent, he swapped wings with Ikram Butt here. He was tackled in the front by Gibbons and hit up the back by Forshaw, but the Broncos, they have their tails up, and now it's with McKenna, who's been their most dangerous man in attack. He's taking on Fallon, and Fallon grounds the ball behind his own line. That will be a dropout from underneath the sticks.
Well, the Broncos fans are screaming for an obstruction, but when you're both running in the same direction for the football, you are allowed to use the shoulder. That is legal. He did very well there, did Jim Fallon. But what a great break by Shane Vincent. It was a superb pass from the prop forward, Darren Shaw. And once they switched from the right to the left, the chance was there. Well, under a lot of pressure, this Leeds outfit, they're not rushing in effect, taking the time. But well played by Vincent. But it was a super little pass, wasn't it, from prop forward.
Back they come again with Darren Shaw. The commitment is there from this Broncos team. Here's Mestrop.
Not just commitment either, they've got a little bit of class out there.
Now it's Rosalind. Clattered by Morley, helped out by Lowe's. Walker, and he gets it to Gill. Good tackle by Tony Kemp. Quick play the ball here, no one was standing there. Now McKenna again. Most impressive of these Broncos players in attack. That's how close they are. Walker spreads it wide to Denver. Denver gets it wide to Cochrane, and Cochrane gives it to Denver, and Denver scores a try. That's terrific play from the London Broncos. His first try of the season on this, his debut in London.
Fully deserved. They've been building up for this for the last 10 minutes. Beautiful long pass out there from Denver. And back on the inside, it was superb support play. Great play. Long ball out wide. They really did stretch this Leeds defence. And Denver started it out. McKenna back on the inside. Cochrane, should I say. It was a lovely pass, and you must support. That's what Denver did. He liked it, and so did the Broncos fans.
13 appearances for London in 93-4. He has impressed in the Brisbane Broncos lower grades, restricted because of the likes of Alan Langer and Walters. But he's over for the try here, the first at Brentford and the first for London on this, their first home appearance of the season. Well, that's exactly what they wanted. Julian O'Neill again with this conversion attempt. 2 out of 2 so far. My word, what a difference it will make to the half-time talk by Gary Grenke if this one does sail over. We're right on the stroke of half-time here, and Julian O'Neill, I think, realises just how important this kick is. Mind you, he studies and makes everything sure before he sets off for the kick on every occasion. There will be a little bit of time to be added on because of all the stoppages for the kicks, but that's why he takes his time, and it's 10-12, Leeds just with a 2-point advantage. Leo Deneva on his debut, a try, and bags of encouragement there for his teammates. Well, I reckon we've got a minute or two's stoppage time to play.
Well, they've worked well, haven't they, the two halfbacks, Ben Walker and Leo Deneva.
Well, considering, Steve-O, they only arrived here this week,
Yeah,
they've formed a great combination, haven't they?
Oh, talking of combination. Oh, George Mann and James Lowe's really put their shoulders into it then. That was great defence. Oh.
There's the half-time siren, and both sides go off to terrific applause from the terraces here at Brentford. The Leeds fans will be well pleased. Jim Fallon has had to work very hard in defence and has scored a try, of course, himself. But Julian O'Neill safe and sound with the boot, and London trailing by 2 points against the Glamour boys from Headingley. London 10, Leeds 12 at half-time here at Brentford. As well, but the people of London, and it must be said the people of Leeds, have trekked down here to be involved in this match. Terrific for the London Broncos that they have the interest, and they can only go from strength to strength when the stars are on parade down here, and stars like Craig Innes, who showed in that first half what a great player he is, and why on earth the Kiwis left him out of their World Cup side, I do not know. But Leo Denver is the try scorer, is the hero of the London Broncos dressing room at the moment. 13 appearances for this club in 93-4 from the Brisbane Broncos lower grades, and as I say, he has had his first grade opportunities restricted by names like Langer and Walters. But there's one for the future, Steve-O. 18-year-old Ben Walker. He has impressed in the first 40 minutes also.
Yes, it's all about confidence. Youngsters certainly need a little bit of help, and when you get to a position whereby they scored a try just before the half-time break, psychologically that will have helped them too.
And the kick-off fielded only just by Paul Cook, by Andrew Morley, should I say. Adrian Morley, get it right one of these days. But watch this, it's soccer skills at Brentford. Not quite the control, though, they would expect, maybe.
Yeah, just put his foot on the whitewash there. Well, this is the mistake that the Broncos were looking for early in the game.
And here's McKenna, and he slants through the gap almost, but Innes was alert to the danger. Walker. Tough second rower, Justin Bryant, takes that tackle.
Could have been penalised there, Tony Kemp. He didn't roll away from the dummy half situation.
O'Donnell's able to pick it up cleanly this time, finds Denver, he finds Walker, the wall out wide, and Vincent just manages to hang on because the pass bounced off the greasy surface. It's raining now here at Brentford. Here now is Darren Shaw, and they flick it across the face. They're trying to get the opening with Justin Bryant. He turns it back inside, and that will be pulled back for the knock-on. No try for Denver. Rosalind tried to keep the movement going with a flick over the top.
Well, the opportunity was there. He knew he was running the angle. Could see that the Leeds cover defence was coming across. Now, it touches a Leeds player. It certainly came off from Milo, I think it was, or George Mann. Yeah, it's George Mann that gets a fingertip to it. Well, they're unlucky here, the Broncos.
Could have been play on, and that might have been a try. Difficult for the referee to make a decision with arms and hands and fingers in there. But on second view, Steve-O, it looked as though that might have been play on.
Lady Luck shines on Leeds, and they need it. It was a bad mistake from the kickoff. And with this rain falling now, it will make it pretty difficult to see the ball being swung out wide.
It's with Kemp again, under pressure from Walker, but he still gets the kick in. Into the open spaces over there, and O'Neill picks up eventually, and then he sees the wall of yellow and blue coming towards him. It doesn't make too many metres. Denver goes into the dummy half position, and here's Vincent again.
Positive kick though from Tony Kemp, right into the corner. He had to turn Julian O'Neill around. That's what they'll be looking for.
Darren Shaw plays it. David O'Donnell gets it away to the other prop forward, Steve Rosalind.
Well, I don't know if we'll be too critical on David O'Donnell, but he's not run once from the dummy half, and that was a great tackle by Morley.
Super tackle on Ben Walker. Tremendous.
Sized his man up there. Plunged. Great stuff. And you see the rain just bouncing down. But getting back to David O'Donnell, is not making the Leeds markers work at all. You've got to make them work. Try to tire them out. They just know he's going to pass on every occasion when he gets into dummy half.
Leeds head and feet at that scrum. They're in possession. Just inside the Broncos half of the field. This is Innes now. Good tackle by Darren Shaw. Lowe's to George Mann. Mann running straight. Rosalind just hanging on to him. Gibbons to Kemp, and Gibbons takes over again. Not the best pass. It made Fallon bend, and Fallon loses it. The referee gives the penalty to the Broncos.
Even though they gained possession from a mistake, you can see the second rower, Adrian Morley, is in an offside position, and he grabs hold of Bryant. No option, Russell Smith, but to give the penalty.
So the Broncos back in Leeds territory once again. O'Donnell offloads once more to Shaw. The Leeds defence working hard. Denver to Walker to Cochrane. Good tackle again by Innes. Having an impressive night in the capital is Craig Innes. Rosalind once more.
Playing well of the Broncos. They're playing the ball quickly, trying to catch this Leeds outfit going backwards.
Denver gets it away to O'Neill, who's chimed in. Again, another quick play of the ball. Not the best pass, though. Here's O'Donnell once more, and he'll hoist the kick. Who's the keenest? Who wants it? Well, the Broncos do, and it's over the top again from Roslin. They're still in possession. Oh, basketball style, and this is Gill, and that is McKenna. And Chris McKenna has scored to give London a sensational lead. It was super play, basketball style, and Chris McKenna with the try.
Well, it looked as though they'd gone down the run cul-de-sac here. David O'Donnell, the hooker, decided to send the ball, but look at Leeds, they just stood off. And the second rower, Rosalind, just threw the ball away. Look at the flick on there from Denver. That was superb play. Oh, great try. And the Broncos fans go berserk. But Leeds just waited for the man to come through. Rosalind took the gamble, kept it alive, so did O'Donnell. Oh, this is good stuff. Well played by Peter Gill, and what a finish there from McKenna.
Chris McKenna got a bit of cramp maybe. Perhaps the occasion getting to him. But the 20-year-old was over the line there without any hesitation. He had 4 appearances for Sheffield Eagles 93-94. He was at the Queensland Crushers with Tony Kemp this year. But it was a great try, and David O'Donnell, Steve-O having a bit of a go at him. But he kept that ball alive well, and it was his high kick that caused all the chaos. Now then, Julian O'Neill, 3 out of 3. This, by far, the most difficult of the kicks that he's had. 2 tries in 6 minutes either side of half-time for the Broncos. Really has changed the complexion here. And O'Neill just misses with the kick. 14-12.
5 Leeds players in that little huddle, and who comes up with him? They allow Rosalind to get to it. They just stood there and watched it, and keeping the ball alive. Pretty to watch. It was a superb knock on there from Denver. Well finished, and fully deserved.
So 7.5 minutes, second half gone. London now hold the lead. And Dean Bell, the Leeds coach, has made a double change in the light of that try that they conceded at the start of this second half. Golden and Fozzard have come on, 2 teenagers, and Faimilo and Jim Fallon are the men who have been replaced.
That doesn't surprise me. Dean Bell obviously not happy with the way that the forwards are working. He's a big guy, Nick Fozzard. He'll add a little bit more power to their attack as well as their defence.
Almost 4,500 people inside the Brentford football ground tonight, watching London give Leeds a real run for their money. And watching here as Julian O'Neill just clips the ball downfield. And Paul Cook slips on this greasy surface that is even greasier now. That's a great chase from London, and O'Neill leading the way along with Justin Bryant.
What a game the second rower Justin Bryant's having. Really
offside against the Broncos.
Over enthusiastic.
Too eager.
And that's been the key. There's the hooker, David O'Donnell. Really did move up too sharply for the likes of the referee, Russell Smith. Bad mistake, though. They really had Leeds on the rack. It's a beautiful kick downfield by Julian O'Neill.
Blows the dummy half, and there's Nick Fozzard. Level pegging in the penalty count. 6 apiece. Cummins gives it to Kemp, who helps it out wide to Mann. Mann standing round, looking. Denver clatters him round the ankles, and Bryant finishes him off. Here's Kemp. Oh, it's a mile forward from Gibbons.
Well, he just lost the marbles there. Totally lost the plot. You could see that Morley was about a yard in front, releasing the football. Could have been in Australia, that would have been a penalty, but a deliberate pass forward. You don't see that so often in this country, but I think it won't be long before it's introduced.
From the base of the scrum, that's Peter Gill. Leeds making far too many handling errors, really, despite the wet and slippery conditions. 10 minutes, second half gone. Broncos in possession with Denver. He finds Walker, and he gets it to O'Neill. O'Neill off the ground brilliantly. He finds Ikram Butt, and Ikram Butt gives it away to David Gibbons. Must have been a call over his shoulder, and Gibbons read it perfectly.
Beautiful pass from O'Neill as he's just going down the field. Bad finish this. I think you do right there. Gibbons definitely called for that football. But the way that this Leeds defence is being cut to ribbons must be of concern to their coach, Dean Bell.
Leeds on their first visit to London in 12 years. And being given a real fight by this London Broncos team. Remember on Sky Sports Friday we had an upset when Workington went to Warrington and won. Are we on the verge of another upset here? Kick into the corner, picked up by O'Neill, and I think for a moment he tried to con the referee there that he had caught that ball and the in-goal area and had diffused the bomb.
Bit of cramp. Perhaps he felt it when he just turned round there. He was very casual. Certainly wasn't going to con the likes of referee Russell Smith.
Such a cramp, maybe. 24 hours on an aeroplane, Steve-O.
Yep, I know the feeling well.
Why, when have you ever had cramp after running the ball out?
Before your time, young man. Well, Leeds have to start doing something very quickly. Dean Bell have brought on the 2 substitutes to try to lift their spirits, but they just are not getting into the swing of things, and that's mainly due to the fact that the Broncos tackling, they really are getting up there and mixing and matching with them.
Well, they've tended to run out of steam in their matches, and David O'Donnell making his first run from dummy half, really. That's what Steve-O has been calling for, but they have tended to run out of steam late on in the matches. And can they just hang on here now? That will not find touch, and Paul Cook with a difficult job now gets away from Denver. Can he get away from Walker? No, it's a great chase.
What a superb kick. Paul Cook couldn't believe it that the ball didn't just have the momentum to go over the whitewash, but that is great defence.
It's a terrifically spirited display by this London team, and they are bossing this second half. There's Marvin Golden.
And leading the way is that second row man, Justin Bryant. Really has led by example. The rest of the team are following.
Last tackle here for Leeds, and they're still midway inside their own half. And Kemp almost in a spot of bother. The ball clipped downfield, and Ikram Butt will collect it. Leeds chasers arrive now. man and Forshaw haul Ikram Butt down. Now O'Neill again, fully recovered from the cramp. And a strong tackle too. Vincent brushes away from one tackler.
Great work from the winger. Takes the pressure off the forwards. Great to see wingers come in and do their share.
Yes, Shane Vincent and Ikram Butt, to be fair to the two of them, they have drifted in field and they've gone looking for the work. Gill gets the pass away. Walker now, one-handed. Here's Butt. This time the pass goes to the Broncos. I almost thought for a moment that Butt had fallen for the 5-card trick once more. Here's Denver. Little chip over the tap. Big space. Oh, Denver's clattered there. Referee with a big decision to make. Says it's a tap on the 20.
Beautiful thinking by the little halfback. There was no sweeper there. Kemp was late to come across. Kemp definitely threw the shoulder at him. He came off second best. But great work, though, from Leo Dineva. Read it perfectly.
It was good work, and Kemp came across. Now that really could have been a penalty at least.
Well, I've seen them given in the past.
Oh, Forshaw drops it. Play on, says the referee. Mestrov has it back for the Broncos. Leeds, Steve-O, are getting a little rattled here. Denver gets the pass away again. O'Neill, under pressure from Hassan, gets the pass to Walker. They're growing in confidence, the Broncos. Lowes has been withdrawn. McShaw comes on. The start of the show against Halifax, second half last week. Little McShaw, number 14, there he is. Dean Bell trying to ask the teenagers to raise this Leeds performance as Darren Shaw goes in again with another brave run. Leeds player is hurt there. It's Morley, and he's out of the defensive line. The ball goes to ground, but it's play on. This is Cochrane once again. And Shaw and Innes are there to tackle him standing up. Last one. Chance here for Gill, and Gill, he dropped it over the line. Peter Gill thought that this was the time history was beckoning. Oh!
There was a hand interference there. Unfortunate for the loose forward, Peter Gill. That could have been curtains for Leeds. Dear me, try time. It went begging. But the way that the Broncos are keeping this ball alive in slippery conditions is unbelievable.
There's Fozzard. The tackle on him by Rosalind. Now McShaw. Good little run from McShaw.
He's the guy that can pull it out of the fire for Leeds. Runs from dummy half like that.
Kemp to Innes, who drops it. Bounced off his chest.
No advantage. Saw the experience there of Julian O'Neill, who knows that the knock-on will be taken. The referee, Russell Smith, looking to see whether at first there is any advantage. There is none when a man picks up the ball only a metre away from your own line. So therefore they'll quite happily take the head and feed at the scrum.
And they will try and run it now from their own line once again. Oh, risky business.
Well, they've been adventurous. It can pay off. But in your own quarter, it's something you want to cut out of your game. Oh!
They love to keep the ball alive, don't they? Here's Gill again. So close he was to the try. So near, yet so far for the Broncos. O'Neill at dummy half. Away they go again with Mestrov, making good, hard yards once more.
He's worked hard, hasn't he, Mestrov, the prop forward? Well, there's one thing you've got to say about this Broncos side. You know, their fans to follow, and they're going to get good work.
This is Denver, lovely run. Oh, the support is there. This is Butt. Ikram Butt. It's a race with Gibbons, and Butt's going to win the race. Ikram Butt with the try. That's terrific play. Denver is the man who kept the ball alive, broke the tackles. The support was there, and Butt streaked in for his first try of the season, and against his former club too.
Good work. It was Gill that kept it alive, and then you see Mestrov come through. But beautiful work from Denver. Isn't he having a fine game? Threw two dummies and stepped on the inside. Oh, that was great play. McKenna onto the winger, Ikram Butt. What a turn-up. Well, we knew it was going to be tough. We knew that they'd give it everything. But they have produced some champagne football tonight. This guy especially. Two dummies in the step on the inside. Good support from the centre. And the only Englishman out there on the Broncos side. Great try.
His first for the London Broncos. And Leo Denver, the man who scored the try in the first half that has sparked this Broncos revival, was at the heart of that move again. So Julian O'Neill. 3 out of 4 for the fullback. From a Leeds point of view, Paul Cook did well in that he forced Ikram Butt to take the oblique angled run, and he didn't let him score underneath the posts, which makes this conversion anything but clear-cut. But he's striking the ball well. Oh, and he's so close with that. And he knows how close he is, but the Broncos have a 6-point lead.
2-on-1. There they are. They cross there, the Leeds players. Look at the skill there. The dummy, 2 steps, and he's away. This is the finish. No buts about that. Ikram's in for 4.
Gibbons, the man it was who pushed Ikram Butt to the corner, and Justin Bryant goes off again, and that's his 3rd spell in the blood bin. And Russell Borden returns to the field of play again to replace him in the bin. Well, 18-12. And this, Steve-O, really is a Broncos overture at the moment. They couldn't have dreamt this.
Could be one of the biggest boil-overs for...
Oh, dear.
They paid the price. They paid the price. They've been keeping the ball alive within their own quarter far too often. Lack of concentration by Ben Walker.
Well, never forget the way Leeds came back. Oh, there's one against the head. Incredible.
I stand with pride. That was actually hooked back.
Don't let's forget the way Leeds fought back against Halifax last week. They're not out of this. They're throwing no towel in. We have just under a quarter of the match to go. Walker breathes a sigh of relief as he gets that pass to O'Neill. It was his mistake that brought the scrum, and the Broncos won against the head. Here now is Borden once again.
High tackle from Kemp, spotted by Smith. There you see it. Well, he's losing his cool, he's Tony Kemp, when he should be concentrating on trying to get the 3-quarter line moving. They really have been dealt a lesson in 3-quarter play. The way that the Broncos are switching the ball around, good support play, and the way that the 2 halfbacks, Walker and Denver, they're creating a great link out wide. The likes of Butt, Vincent, Cochran, McKenna, and of course this man Julian O'Neill has linked into the 3-quarter line from full back on nearly every occasion. Been pretty to watch.
I'm sure that people are joining this match live from Brentford all the time. I just ask you to look into the top left-hand corner of your screen, and London are ahead. 18-12 here against Leeds, one of the biggest names in the big league. What a boost this performance will be to the sport of rugby league in the capital. And Julian O'Neill here with a chance to make it 20 points to 12. He takes an eternity with his goal kicks. The referee has decided that time again should be stopped while O'Neill goes through the rigmarole and the paraphernalia of getting himself sorted for the goal kick. Important kick this. If it does sail over, the Broncos know that Leeds have to score twice to overhaul them. He's been kicking well all night, and he's kicked well now. Leeds have to score twice. The gap is 8 points. London 20, Leeds 12.
Isn't this wonderful to see? Those legs that were moving were the hookers. The ball actually went in straight. Words will be said to David Gibbons, the Leeds halfback, actually putting the ball in straight for a change. It was a wonderful break. And Julian O'Neill, his kicking game as well, he really has lifted this side. Well, can it be a dream come true, Eddie? There's still plenty of time when you've got the likes of Tony Kemp, Innes, Fallon, Cummins. They're all stars.
They sure are. And perhaps we're watching tonight the start of something big in the capital. 20 points to 12. We're live tonight on Sky Sports from Brentford Football Ground at Griffin Park. The Broncos' first home game of the season, and they are playing with heaps of confidence. Look at O'Donnell, he's taking them on now. Vincent gets the pass away again. McKenna. Oh, this is great to watch. O'Neill, Julian O'Neill dragging the Broncos to within a couple of metres of the line. They want to get on with it. O'Donnell, Denver, Walker, dabs it diagonally, and it's shallow in goal here.
Too strong from Ben Walker.
But it's champagne football, Steve-O.
Excellent stuff. There you see it, he tried to pull the ball back in. It came off Innes. Now that should be a dropout, and it is. It's well spotted by the in-goal judges. That's one of the reasons why they're there.
And it's a penalty underneath the posts to the Broncos. Someone said something out of turn. Dissent. Tony Kemp cannot believe it, but someone has argued the decision with Russell Smith, and so it gives the Broncos a chance from bang in front to stretch that lead still further. Well, I didn't spot the little dab off the boot of Craig Innes. Russell Smith did. We spotted it on the replay, and Leeds obviously not happy with that decision about the dropout underneath the post.
They thought it was just a direct kick from Ben Walker. Even so, you have to abide by the rules, and the man who's making them is a man with a merry whistle. And the in-goal judge will turn. There you see it.
It's Stuart Cummins.
That could really change the game. That could be just that little bit of lady luck.
And the in-goal judge, Steve-O, is Stuart Cummins.
Don't get much more experience than that.
A big league referee assisting Russell Smith tonight. And obviously Leeds question the decision too much, and it gives O'Neill this opportunity to push London even further ahead. Doesn't miss from bang in front, and Craig Innes just with the little nick of the outside of the boot, and then someone back-chatting. London have a 10-point lead.
Well, the Leeds coach Dean Bell will be spitting chips over this one. A total lack of professionalism. That's what it is. And that's the replay. You can see that Cummings is quite happy to go and tell the referee it did come off Craig Innes. Vital decision. Either way, the Broncos deserve to get the rub of the green there. Oh, great tackle.
Jamie Field, that's his first tackle in the big league. It's his debut, the number 16 for Leeds. Only a teenager. He's replaced Neil Harmon, and what a tackle it was. His first in the game, and there he is with his second. High hopes of him at Headingley.
Good play though from the Bronco forwards. Obviously the message has gone out from their coach Gary Grinke to just calm things down a bit now. They've got the 10-point lead. Oh, that's not, he wouldn't have wanted that. That's just forcing the pass under pressure when it's not needed. Remember, time is the enemy against Leeds. They're the ones that have to play catch-up football, not the Broncos.
Shane Vincent just couldn't hang on to the pass.
Possession is vital now. They must respect possession, the Broncos, if they're going to hang on for this.
They're tackling like demons too. And Chris McKenna's had a big game. Here's Innes. Marvin Golden, the dummy half. Gary Grenke, the London coach. It's a dream start to their home league programme this centenary season. But they still have just short of 12 minutes to hang on. But Steve-O, the signs are good for London, and Leeds are rattled, there's no doubt.
Well, they haven't just taken the lead, have they? They really have worked hard. And they've lost the plot, Leeds. It's a handover. No one came up and said, I'll take responsibility for the kick. And that's where Tony Kemp has to start taking that responsibility. He's the skipper. He's got to lead them. I'm afraid they've lost their way.
And they have certainly missed Gary Schofield out there today.
Without a doubt.
He's the man who took the game really by the scruff of the net second half against Halifax. But it looks to me as though the Broncos at the moment want it more. They won't want to see that again, though, from Mestrop. Now, here's a chance for Leeds in broken field. But, again, a poor pass. Innes makes the best of it. Oh, great tackle. Super tackle from second rower Steve Roslin.
That's been a key area for the Broncos. They've moved up quickly. The defence has been solid, and look at them move up again. They're forcing Leeds down that single channel down the middle. The Leeds three-quarters have barely seen the football. I can't remember a time when Francis Cummings actually received a pass in a three-quarter movement.
Mick Shaw just thought about a pass looking for Kemp. But isn't it good defence from the Broncos? Last tackle again for Leeds. Forshaw to Mann. Mann will clip it towards the corner. Innes is after it. O'Neill is there, though, and all the experience gained in the Winfield Cup from Julian O'Neill. He waited for that. Didn't rush, didn't lose his head.
Well, this is up your jumper time. Nothing fancy, please. That's what their coach Grenke will be saying.
10 minutes to half-time. They've waited for this since he's returned again, Justin Bryant, from the blood bin. How brave has he been tonight? But they've waited for this from the start of the season. They knew that this was their first home game of the season. They were determined to give the Sky Sports cameras a good show, and they were determined, perhaps more importantly, to give their local supporters the encouragement to come here and get behind this club.
And not only that, it's been entertaining. They've played some superb football. It has been first class, in wet conditions also. They're full of confidence. They've not been frightened to take the game to Leeds. And they've totally blotted this Leeds attack out with some superb defence.
You might have seen Leo Denver with the kick downfield that gave Leeds this football, but he was the first man, the little scrum half, to lead the Broncos down the other end of the field and get stuck in the tackling. And that's what they're doing now. That's tackle number 4. This is Shaw. This is a lad who can turn a game. Yes, I think the referee's absolutely right. Bryant came in, and it's the flop.
Desperation from the second row, Justin Bryant. He knows that trying to slow the game down will be to their advantage. He's just come back onto the field of play. He's had a big game, though. Justin Bryant. Stitches in the head. It won't worry him.
And Leeds didn't take the option of the 2 points on offer. They want 4 and possibly 6. They looked across to the bench for a decision, and the bench must have said run it. So run it they are. And this is Nick Fozzar. Well, a try here for Leeds, and it would be all on in the last 8 minutes. Gibbons. And again. Denver, though, leading by example. Forshaw, the dummy half. Here's Tony Kemp. Ball inside to Craig Innes. And again, this Broncos defence stands firm. That's 4 tackles gone. We make it. Oh, big collision there. They're both all right. Mick Shaw again with the invention, and Mick Shaw puts all sorts of pressure on Leo Denver, but Denver hangs on.
Scrambling there, Denver dropped back to help the fullback. O'Neill made a bit of a meal of it. But the substitute, Mick Shaw, he's the man that can really pull it out for Leeds. That's the reason why the coach, Dean Bell, put him on. No one was making hardly any breaks. He's got the speed, but it was good play from Denver. He's had a fine game.
The drop out from underneath their own sticks is good on the length. Forshaw will run it back. The maroon and yellow wall meets him. Here's Marvin Golden. Good tackling by Darren Shaw. Nick Shaw. Oh, it's a lovely little run from Shaw. He looked over the shoulder. There was no one following up, no support.
That's been another problem for the Leeds side. They've not supported the man carrying the ball.
This is Innes. Here's a match winner for Leeds, Craig Innes. Again, no support as he's buried underneath the three tacklers. Can the Broncos hold out? Can Leeds get in for the try that they so desperately need? Not when they drop the ball. It was Adrian Morley who spilled the possession again.
Try!
It was a good pass. Try was begging. A neat little pass on to Golden. And the other substitute, 15, Marvin Golden, would have gone in there. Well, they've had their chances. They have not taken them. They'll slow things down now. It looks like another substitution.
Is it Bryant over on that far side who's gone off?
I think you'll find it's Darren Shaw, is it?
It's Darren Shaw, the prop forward. I saw the headband and I thought that poor old Justin Bryant was going off again. But Craig Green has come on to replace Chris McKenna as well. McKenna goes off and he has had a magnificent game, Chris McKenna. But it's all delaying tactics just to wind that clock down before the scrum was put down by the referee, Russell Smith. Oh, a mistake. Ben Walker again.
Well, one of the few occasions that David O'Donnell has not gone into the dummy half position. And there you see the youngster Ben Walker. Nerves are tingling.
Well, the last time that he made the error, Broncos got one against the head. They haven't now. Green and Langer have come on. And this is Tony Kemp. Oh, and a great tackle by Walker. He's the man who came up with the mistake. It had to be a good tackle. Oh, what on earth happened to the Leeds handling tonight? Nick Shaw, Forshaw, cannot believe it.
Good work, though, from David O'Donnell. He went out. There you could see it. Forshaw had his eyes on the hooker. And you could see the team spirit that this Broncos side have. They all rush forward. Pat on the back for the hooker.
Well, they know they're on the verge of something big. They have 4 minutes and a little bit, plus whatever stoppages are added on by the timekeepers. Ikram Butt. The gap is 10 points. Ikram Butt, whose try just stretched the lead for the Broncos.
Hard work with the forwards now, just take it. Oh, they're taking the gamble again.
Here is Craig Green. The tackle just hauled him down. They're not sticking it up the jumper. This is Rosalind.
Well, the Bronco fans will have something to look forward to this season. It's been entertaining stuff. They'll get the money's worth, that's for sure.
Here's Bryant taking them on again. Gary Grinke knows he's on the verge of an historic win. They want a drop goal, and Walker gets it. It just scraped over the bar. It almost limped over the top of that bar, and it's an extra point for the Broncos.
Well, a youngster that made a crucial mistake at the other end has made up for it. But you could see that the Leeds defence was slow. It all the time in the world. It was good positioning. He's made amends, and that could still prove to be a vital one-pointer.
Well, it was 4 drop goals, you may remember, that won the match for Workington at Warrington. Is that drop goal from Walker, the 1 point that will finally break the Leeds' hearts. Meanwhile, Peter Gill has been given a clatter.
He got a high one. He sure did. Second row of Morley when swinging right over the top.
Well, it will do marvellous things for their confidence at London if they can hang on to this. Here's Cochrane.
By the same token, it won't have helped Leeds' confidence. They really have been outplayed tonight. This is no fluke. It's been a tremendous display from the London Broncos. In every department, they've overshadowed their opposites.
Here's Walker. He almost made another mess of it. Little chip over the top from O'Neill. Just couldn't quite get there quick enough. Marvin Golden, the man who tied it up for Leeds. Now back they come. Time running out.
Good play by Julian O'Neill. He knows that this is going to apply the pressure even more. Leeds going backwards. Takes a while for them to set up.
A minute and a half to go. Darryl Pitt comes on for Peter Gill. And they are just 90 seconds away from history, the London Broncos.
I think that's the first time that Cummings has received a pass on the three-quarter line. That's how effective this Bronco defence has been.
Kemp, little chip over the top, but O'Donnell read the script. And he'll just take the tackle, and there'll be no rushing now. They are 60 seconds away from victory, the London Broncos. And it looks more and more like it's going to be their night. And what a player Justin Bryant has turned out to be tonight. Battered and bruised, stitches in the head. He's had blood pumping down from almost the very first tackle. But my word, he stuck to his task well.
He's been my man of the match. He's the sort of guy I'd love to have in a corner.
This now is Borden again, who has been on and off the field tonight because of Justin Bryant going into the blood bin. Another drop goal from O'Neill. He gets it. And that means the gap is now 12 points. Where's the Leeds defence?
They just didn't want to know. They know this Leeds outfit. Their heads have been down for the last 5-10 minutes. Tremendous way to finish this game. Julian O'Neill, he's shown his skill. Remember, this is a Leeds side, chock-a-block full of stars. They are being played off the park.
Leeds restart. And back he comes. Justin Bryant again takes it in where all the traffic's heavy. We're in stoppage time now. And could this be the watershed for London? Could this be the night when it all comes right for them in the capital? They will surely get great credit from this. They will surely take great heart from this.
And remember, they still have a few more stars to come.
Yes, they have. The jumbo jet will be winging its way over here yet with a couple more stars. And who knows what the future holds. The little dink over the top is watched by Paul Cook. Leeds, of course, without Tate and Iro and Schofield and Mercer. But they have been outplayed, Steve-O, as you so rightly say.
Look at the defence there. Russell Borden getting involved in it. Little knock on. Just lost the control there. Perhaps helped along by Borden, should I say. It has not been Francis Cummings' night or any of the Leeds players. There's no excuses for this. Leeds have been totally outclassed, both tactically wise and ability wise. An attempt for a spear tackle. Tony Kemp and Paul Cook involved. See the hands go in between. You're not allowed to do that. Once you make any attempt to grab on the inside of the legs, you are deemed as attempting to make a spear tackle, and there was little doubt about it. He hung on well, did Ben Walker. Frustration etched on the face of Tony Kemp.
It's not been his night, has it? And Justin Bryant has left the field once more. He has gone back into the blood bin. Well, what a night he's had.
He's probably done about an extra 3 miles from running on and off the pitch tonight. But it has been a night for heroes. And he certainly is one tonight. Julian O'Neill. He will take all the time in the world with this.
This could be the last kick of this match. And look at the smile on the face of Gary Grenke. He has coached his London Broncos team to a famous victory over Leeds. O'Neill just allowing the clock to eat a few more seconds up. That's on the way. He's kicked that, and that's curtains for Leeds. 6 points to 12. A famous night in the capital. The London Broncos have beaten big spending Leeds. There is the full-time siren. A great night for Gary Grenke, the London Broncos coach. A great night for Leo Deneva. They have bossed this match from the moment they went 12 points to 2 down in the first half. David O'Donnell, a tremendous night for the big league in London. Evan Cochran, the man in the centre. They've all played their part. Leo Dunnever only arrived here on Thursday, and hasn't he had a big game too? Steve-O, what do you think this will do to the confidence and to the fortunes of this club down here in London?
Probably the biggest kick that they've had for many a year. There's been so many people critical of having a side down here in London. Well, this will show them.
Well, let's go downstairs and talk to one of the London heroes. Bill Arthur is with Julian O'Neill.
Julian, that's a remarkable result.
Yeah, well, you know, we haven't won a game all year. Leeds are a champion outfit. But, you know, we just got what probably a lot of other teams haven't got. We've got a bunch of blokes willing to spill blood and die for each other, and we've got heaps of enthusiasm and spirit, and that's what it takes to win a 30-man game.
But it's a bunch of blokes who've only just come together.
Exactly, mate, but spirit and enthusiasm override